Hey guys, BikeBlogger here. We got another Bike FAQs video for you. Bike facts. I'm not sure if everybody really likes these videos, but I like to do them just so I can kind of interact a little more with the viewers and answer these comments because there's so many comments. I don't know which way the world is going. You know, are comments going to be a thing that we're going to see on like videos and stuff on YouTube a lot in the future, or will more social media just be live? The thing with the search engines though is that by having comments, you can develop search algorithms a lot better, and people can find information a lot more effectively than if it was just like a live stream or whatever. But anyway, so just things to think about. So let's get started. The Rocco66 writes, what do you mean by commuting? Going to work or to school or even earlier? In summer 1986, I was riding to work with my bike. I think it was a steel trekking bike with a 3-speed Sachs torpedo hub, but I'm not sure. It was somewhere in the mid-70s when I first rode my bike to school. Cool. Commuting, I guess when I think about commuting, yeah, I do think about biking to work. So you would probably be thinking of someone like a teenager or older biking to work. I'm not sure how many kids have paying jobs unless they work with their family business or something. Yeah, I generally mean, I guess, by commuting, I generally think of going to work. But yeah, you can certainly commute by bike to school if you're like a young kid, 8 years old or older or whatever. I don't know what it depends on what parents are comfortable with and how close the school is to the house and everything. But yeah, a lot of people do commute to school, to college. A lot of college students ride bikes. So yeah, I guess what I meant by bike commuting, I never really thought about it actually, so I'm glad the Rocco66 pointed out. But I generally think of bike commuting in my life as commuting to work by bike. To some profession or whatever, by bike as an adult. But I do realize that, yeah, many people who ride bikes are like college students and stuff. And I relate more to them than to a lot of older adults because I'm just an active person. And so many people in my country, in the United States, as they get older, they get unhealthier and unhealthier and unhealthier due to stress, due to fat, due to all sorts of other conditions that their bodies have turned into because they've neglected their physical well-being. I have a lot of respect for people who treat their body right. So treat your body right. And it is a tough thing, it's just like getting off an addiction of, potato chips or whatever, I understand that. It's like stopping smoking, we have all these vices in our lives. Having a vice like bike commuting is a great vice to have. You need to find your passion like that. It may not be bike commuting. That's okay. It may be something else. It might be swimming. It might be running or whatever. But live your life every day thinking of a way of how you can incorporate that into your day. Be it only like, for instance, if you like to run, just go out for a run, like intend to run 1 mile. However long that takes you to run a mile. Maybe it takes you 15 minutes. Maybe it takes you 8 minutes. Maybe it takes you 4 minutes. I don't know how fast of a runner you are, but just go out there and do it. And who knows, it might balloon into something even better. A mile turns into 2 miles, turns into 3 miles, just like riding a bike. So you go out there, plan on riding a bike, just make 1 lap around your block where you live. Who knows? Maybe you'll be like, well, I've made 1 lap. Let me just do 1 more lap. And then that 1 lap becomes 2 laps, becomes 3 laps. And all of a sudden you're like, well, let me go one further block away from my house. So just getting out there, that is totally, in my opinion, that is at least half the battle, if not 90% of the battle, is just getting on the bike, because there's so much so much junk that can be going through your head of excuses of why not to do it. So just do it, as Nike would say. Moving on here. Derek Sim writes, my first commute was 7.2 miles each way. The commute there was great. The commute back was bad because road construction, my chain fell off, and the oppressive Houston heat. My wife saved me by picking me up 1.5 miles from the house. Ouch. It's okay, Derek. I've been there. My wife has come to save me in a case where I didn't have a chain tool and my chain snapped on me. Without a chain, you're not getting home without walking, So can you walk 1.5 miles? Sure you can. I mean, you could have walked that. It might have been faster, honestly. That depends on where your wife was at the time, or your buddy or your friend or whatever to come pick you up. Because waiting around on the side of the road for someone to pick you up, I mean, honestly, a mile and a half. How long would it take you to walk 1.5 miles? Most people would probably take 30 minutes. So I don't know if you're saving yourself a lot of time there. So it's something to think about. I guess it depends on what that 1.5 miles is. If it's like a San Francisco hill you have to climb, well, that's a little different than, walking on a nice multi-use trail all the way back home. Although most of us aren't as lucky to be living near a multi-use trail by our house. But things to think about. Kevin Simonis writes, first time was last year when they first experience. What is this first experience? Experience bike commuting? I'm trying to remember this. First bike commute. Okay, so my first bike commute was last year, 13 miles each way. Wow. All kinds of roads, industry, residential, everything. Yeah, so that's, I just got to say this. Wow. That's a long distance for a first bike commute. Glad you had a great experience doing it. Keep it up. I just have to say keep it up because this comment was from months ago, so I hope there's still bike commuting, Kevin. I'm just going to respond to Derek down here too. I once snapped my bike chain and had to call a friend too. Been there. Thanks for sharing. All right, so yeah, moving on. Yeah. Reply. 24 billion writes, first bike commute was on a BMX. Awesome. I like BMX just because it's single speed. 3 miles. Didn't take long to upgrade to a road bike. There you go. You will go faster on a road bike. They're apples to oranges, but 1-to-1 road bike is always going to beat a BMX bike in terms of speed. Then I changed jobs, and now it's a 4-mile commute. All right, not too bad. That is a 25% increase in distance. Still very doable for many people who are in decent condition. I tried out decent health. I tried out so many different routes, a mini job, before finding the most efficient one. Takes me 15-20 minutes, and I pass people sat in traffic most of the way. Feels good. Yeah, I know that feeling of passing people stranded in their automobiles. So much, I was gonna say, like, wasted time. Love bike commuting. Thanks. Shelbo99 writes, share first name. Rides to the park and store used a mountain bike called Roadmaster. Cool. Thumbs up on that one. I should just thumbs up everybody. Why don't I thumbs up everybody, right? G writes, not a commuter, but a rider and a regular viewer. Thanks for the ride-alongs. Bam! Okay, Cobbletop writes, their first bike commute experience. I started in 2015 commuting e-bike. 2017 switched to a regular multi-speed bike, and I'm still using it. Growing up, I used a bike every day to school. Getting a driver's license was the worst because I stopped cycling for years and started to get fat. I share some of those same experiences. Getting a driver's license does not... Okay, fine, I'll fix it. Experiences, the same experiences. Autocorrect. No, not really autocorrect, a spell check. Getting a driver's license does not mean we should stop riding a bike. Thanks. Cobbetop. Pronouncing that right. I'm trying to blow through these here. Langhamp 8912 writes, their first bike commute was actually in St. Louis. Okay, so they must be a St. Louiser like me. St. Louisan, I guess is the correct term. An easy downhill ride to the metro. Not so easy at the end of the day. Yeah, going back uphill. What goes down must come up. I've read this sort of thing before about exercising or just, I guess, riding a bike or running or whatever, you know. You may want to start your trip at the bottom of a hill, you know, so that way when you come back, you're coming back downhill. And when you're more tired at the end, although you should never be completely tired, that means you worked yourself too hard. But at the end, you're not going uphill at the very end, you know. So, for instance, if you are a mountain biker, okay, do not, unless you're a downhiller, do not start your ride, if you can, at the top of a hill going downhill. Start your ride more in the valley. I don't know, mountain bikers out there who are just regular mountain bikers, not downhillers, of course. Regular mountain bikers, if you have an option, where do you prefer to start your ride at? Do you prefer to start your ride closer to the valley of the trail, or do you prefer to start your ride closer to the, I guess, the mountain top or the crest or the apex or the zenith or whatever you call it, the top of the hill of the mountain biking trail? I guess it depends on the terrain, really. I mean, you could if you can get a good downhill just before you have to go right back uphill at the end, like a roller coaster, maybe it'd work out okay. But I would think very few people would want to end, you know, a nice 1 hour mountain bike ride with like a 5-minute climb at the very end. I mean, I kind of like to end my rides, you know, with the wind in my hair and I'm going fast down a hill, and then, you know, then maybe I level off a little bit going, you know, flat, and then I, you know, just let momentum and you know, air resistance and everything just kind of slow me down right as I get to the very, you know, my stopping point, you know, so I don't have to, you know, slam on the brakes, of course. That's just my opinion. After a few weeks, I bought and used a unicycle with no seat. A unicycle with no seat, huh? To ride to the metro, because a unicycle is way easier to get into the metro. A unicycle with no seat. Unicycle, okay, yeah, okay, I was gonna say. Brendan says, no seat. They go 30 miles per hour. And they got a video here, too. Wow, okay, so unicycle with no seat. Let's do some free advertising for somebody. What is this? Unicycle with no seat. What are we talking about here? Okay, is this gonna be, show me the bike, Bubba. Where's the bike? Yeah, this looks like a ad. Oh, we're talking about the wheel, those things, what you might call it. I wouldn't call those a unicycle, but these are those sort of, I'm not running any audio here. I don't think I'm getting in trouble for showing other people's videos per se, but I don't want to like get in trouble for showing other people's videos. But basically, I've seen these types of these are not bicycles. These are what do you call them? Oh, I forget the name. But it's like it's something you ride along. It's electric, okay? So you're not pedaling. But yeah, oh man, I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head, but yeah, hey, you know, any other mode of transportation other than a car or an SUV, awesome. Okay, I'll start there as a point. But a big point with me though is human health and physical activity. I do love other modes of transportation other than automobiles, like, mopeds, motorcycles, electric bikes. But I also very much would like to encourage people to get a little bit of exercise during the day, in one way or another. Maybe it's not bike commuting, but, physical activity. I mean, that is the thing that is going to save us. Yes, people live a lot longer. Actually, not that much longer, but they do live a few years longer on average than they used to, at least in some countries, because of medication, drugs. It doesn't necessarily mean their quality of life is actually any better, though. So if you want a better quality of life overall, you need to do physical activity. There is a reason why we have feet. There is a reason why we have a heart. It is because we need to use it, and we need to exercise that. And we need not to abuse it as well, too. Moving on. HRD. HRD. They say, my first commute was in February. That's a cold time. Their photo here, I can't tell what this photo of their face looks like. It looks kind of like palm trees or something. I don't know. Looks like a warm climate, though. They say February, so maybe they're from like I don't know, the tropics or the southern hemisphere right now. February is a cold month, very cold month in the northern hemisphere, especially inland, not on the coasts of anywhere. 9-kilometer ride, but I was afraid to go out on a high-speed street. I cycled to the underground. Took me half hour waiting for a train. It was too crowded. Could not fit bike in there. I reached my stop, and it was great. I took the bike lane in my district. First ride at a bike lane was amazing. When I reached work, I was feeling amazing and enjoyed every single second of my short ride. Since that day, Oh no! Where'd the rest of the comment go? It kind of looks like... No, maybe not. No. HRD, where did your comment go? I lost some of your comment here. I'm sorry, buddy. I don't know what happened there. Anyway, so thanks for the sharing of that. Yeah. One problem with trying to take your bike on a train is that common courtesy is if the train is pretty dang filled up, don't try to force yourself on with your bike. But hey, what are you going to do? Right? You can't keep waiting for the next train and the next train and the next train. You can adjust your commute time, I guess, to not be during rush hour. If you are so lucky to be working somewhere that has flexible work hours, like you're allowed to come in earlier and leave earlier, or come in later and leave later, do it. That is really, really helpful for people who have to deal with these sort of things in major cities, dealing with just traffic. Anyway, Healy4G3 the third writes, man, thanks for doing this. Saved my life restoring my wife's Electra. So this was my overhaul of I think maybe it was a coaster brake. Yeah, the Shimano CB E110. This was an overhaul video, which was basically I disassembled the Shimano coaster brake and I reassembled the Shimano coaster brake. I had absolutely no experience with coaster brakes before I did this video. I have absolutely not much more experience with coaster brakes since the video, but I showed just how an average Joe schmo like myself, with a exploded view basically of the device, I guess. I was able to take it apart and reassemble it, and I kind of knew what I was doing, and I believe I did a pretty dang good job at it. Almost 20,000 views, over 200 likes. Check the comments to make sure I didn't make any mistakes. I'm pretty sure I did not make any mistakes in this video, because I have a high attention to detail. Just like when I'm taking this stuff off, I always make sure I reassemble it in the same orientation in which I took it off, and make sure everything gets grease that's supposed to get grease, and everything that is not supposed to get grease does not get grease. So I recommend you check that out. That's Overhaul coaster brake video. So guys, I think we're gonna end the video here. these videos are getting kind of long. I'm going to probably have to try to figure out a way to shorten these videos down a bit. Unless everybody's okay with me having these long bike facts videos. I think I may need to figure out a way to shorten the videos anyway. Anyway, so let me know in the comment section below. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already done so. Try to shoot out videos at least once a week, if not more. I've been doing this for over 5 years now, and I love doing it. And I love your comments, and I love inspiring other people to bike commute to work. So get out there and ride your bike. We'll see you next time.